So this is the body up close here. You can see the wood. I think I was told it was ash, white ash, or swamp ash, something like that. I don't know. This originally was a Rainier Stratocaster, Japanese-made Stratocaster from the early 80s. Right now you can see the three holes that I drilled through, and then of course the pickup I had replaced, which is a Les Paul T-bar pickup off a early 70s Les Paul, and then the EMG there in the neck. It's gold writing. I think there's a difference between the silver ones and the gold ones. I don't know the model number, but it's the one with the gold writing. And then its original neck, that neck was resurfaced and refretted by Cuneo in the 1990s over at Performance Guitar. I completely wore that neck down into nothing and had marks all over it, and he just took it all off. I wasn't expecting that. But anyways, so it's been rock steady ever since, and it doesn't wear out. So anyways, the coloration and everything, I originally, it was a nice, beautiful, clear, heavily lacquered Strat with a tortoiseshell pickguard. I lit the thing on fire. It was a friend of mine's guitar. He gave it to me as a gift when we were in high school. He let me use it. I came in contact with this guitar when I was like 13, 14 years old. My friend Tim, he lived next door to my friend who played drums, and I would go and jam with him, and we'd play Van Halen tunes and stuff. And Tim would come over, and he had this guitar, which was a Strat with a maple neck, and that's exactly what I wanted. And I was playing a copy Les Paul and a copy SG, copy Flying V. But I loved this thing, and so he used to lend it to me all the time, and then eventually he just gave it to me. So, and we're still friends to this day. So just had contact with him yesterday. Anyways, so yeah, you can kind of see close up. I marred it all sorts of different stuff with markers or paint or whatever, and this was like almost 40 years ago. So there's the burn marks and whatnot, and when I lit that thing on fire, anytime I'd play it for a couple of years after, it would rub off and it'd stain your clothes, or the burnt ash would get on you. So it took a while before all of that finally went away. So yeah, so again, here's kind of close up. There's some of the burn mark right there. It's heavily burned on the top and on the side and the back, which you'll see at some point. There you go, through there. And then these holes that I tried drilling, kind of inspired by that Swiss cheese guitar from Steve Vai at that time when that came out. And I was like, oh, I'm going to drill holes. And that was a huge mistake because it took forever to get those 3 holes through that wood. And I just used my father's drill bits, and I got to the biggest one that he had, and I was like, this sucks. I'm not doing this. It just took forever and was really difficult to get through that wood. Anyway, so this is that Les Paul T-bar from an early 70s Les Paul, so gold pole. You can see the T right there in the center. And yeah, 1 volume knob and a 3-way switch that has a passive and an active. It's got the EMG in the neck and the passive in the bridge, and it's one or the other, and they're so completely different. The sounds are so completely different, but I love them both. Anyways, I don't know the size of the frets or any of that. They're, I guess, pretty good size. I don't know what that means. They're not jumbo, but they stick up quite a bit. Headstock, there you go. Those are Godos, which I prefer. So I've had those ever since. So again, back in the 80s, those were installed. And it was my friend Greg. His last name was like Gajanik or something like that. I remember he's from Michigan, but we worked together at the Guitar Center on Sunset in Hollywood, and he did that work. He put those pickups in for me, and then the Floyd was installed like a year or 2 after. And originally it was, an original Floyd where the bar would be really floppy and all of that, which I loved. But eventually that piece got changed out to one of those where it can tighten so it doesn't do that flop thing as much. Okay, so here's the back of the thing. Again, this is just paint and other whatnot. It used to be much more vibrant and all of that, but of course, after all these years, it's worn off and all of that. So it's pretty much just down to the natural wood, which is what I like. I'm not a finish guy. I don't really like that. Um, yeah, so here's those Godos I was mentioning right there, and the wrench. That's one of my favorite years of existence right there, 1973. So that's just kind of something I like to have there. Yeah, so this is the wood, which again, I'm not, maple, I know, but some of you wood folks would know better than me. I can't find any information on this company other than that they're from Japan, which is something I recently learned. And again, somebody told me that, oh, it's swamp ash. Okay, thank you. So here's the burns, some of the burn stuff going on that's been left. That's the rear of those holes. And, it's. I'm sure you have your own version of this sort of thing. It's just you get inspired to just mar it up in one way or another in a way that talks to you, and there it is. So I really don't think about it much. This guitar is very personal to me. It's got a lot of hours. It's they say 10,000. This thing's probably got 100 and 200,000. I don't know, a lot. There's the burn, more of the burn stuff there, and yeah. So this video was a request, so I hope I'm giving you what you want. I don't have all of the technical details. I actually weighed the thing today, 8.5 pounds. 8.5 pounds. Some other technical things I looked up that I figured, oh, you might want to know this. And I'm kind of guessing, but like I saw for the shapes of the neck, the different ones they offer, I would say that this is the neck would be considered a U shape. It's kind of a big neck, and I like that. But I'm going to go with the U shape for that. Fingerboard radius, I do not know, but I'm going to say it's flatter. Not completely flat, but it's more on the flatter side. Here you're just seeing more of the close-up, obviously, from the damage from the fire. I guess that's lacquer remnants or something there. I don't know. And then the fret size, like I say, I don't really know what the fret size is, but they're big, but they're not ginormo. And it's a 21 fret neck, 21 frets, which is that's my favorite. I definitely prefer it over 22, just because I'm used to it. And so if I play 22 fret necks, which I have, several of them, I'll overbend on them. So I play them differently. This one, when I play this thing, it's just like everything's always seems to be right for me. So, and that's just because I melded into it as a teenager, just slumped over on the bed playing and playing and playing. So yeah, some close-ups there of that pickup again. Greg, I remember Greg's the guy who did the work for me and put it in, and he was kind of the tech, in-house tech, I guess you would say. He was also a sales guy. He worked the guitar floor. I called him the dancing pony because the way he dressed was like kind of dressed like a dandy. He always dressed very nice, and he had super killer long ass hair that he'd wear in a ponytail. So it made me think of a pony. Anyways, what else can I say? Oh, the headstock. Yeah, so it's got the old, kind of the big headstock, which I dig. Just something I like. So it wasn't a preference. It's just what it has. And I did obviously have the logo. I took the logo off the headstock right away. Nothing against the company. It's just that was kind of the look. Just like get all that shit off of there. So, yeah, that's really the best technical stuff. I don't know, like, oh, is that a 500K pot or whatever? I don't know. I don't know that stuff. So yeah, there's the original Floyd. So there's a battery, a 9-volt that goes in underneath there, and that's what powers that EMG. And yeah, so here's very close up for you there, which is a beast, man. But it's smooth. It's not a very high output kind of pickup. I wouldn't describe it like that. Like this guitar it's kind of a warm, mellower kind of sound. And then when you get in and on the neck, it's like super bright, but there's a lot of depth in that single coil. So anyways, this is my guitar. I hope that helps give you a little better understanding of what it is. And forgive me if I'm rambling. All right, adios.
Craig Parker Adams.